Hello, hello, hello. I am Mr. Demetrius Cotton
And I
with
am
my co.
Taquita Spears, third shift trim.
And I'm Aisha Shum third shift trim as well. And welcome to the second episode of 276 Speak Up. Today we are going to get into our contract, our local contract, might touch on the international contract a little bit, and if it is being upheld, if management is doing their job by following the contract, and if our union and shop committee is enforcing our contracts. So, with that being said, I will let my co-host Demetrius or Tequita chime in, and let's get started.
I mean, do anybody have any questions they want to call in and talk about? As far as the contract, I don't think it's being upheld because I think it comes across very vague, and I think when I say that, I mean it doesn't not clear to the members. I don't believe. I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors with the contract. Um, People be believing one thing going in just to uh, the votes get passed, and then after that, the truth starts coming out, and that's where the confusion comes in. What y'all think about that?
I agree. In the past, I've seen we did it in the past like this, so that's how we've always done it. But if it's not in black and white, it shouldn't be done. It should be done according to what's written, what we all agreed on, versus the easy way out. Well, this was always just best practice
That
because
is
it's
true.
convenient on certain situations with certain individuals, but it should be consistent with everyone.
Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like with this new local contract we just voted on that was ratified, one of my main questions to Kenny Hines when I went to the rollout meeting was, are you going to make management uphold this contract? Are y'all going to enforce the contract? Are y'all going to make sure they are abiding by what's in the contract and the language in the contract? And I know everybody's interpretation of the language differs. But I like to deal in facts. I like to deal in what's in black and white, and I like to deal what's contractual versus what we've been doing and how we've been doing it. And I see a lot of that. I just had a situation with that recently on a Zoom call um, about a certain business manager using her title is power. Um, in my opinion, that this is, I can't say for facts if that's the case, but in my opinion, I think she used her title and her power and her having a disdain for me um, to kind of like she weaponized that power by I put in a vacation day, I get denied, I had to have a committee call. Then I'm assuming it was a conversation here, and then I get approved for a day. So I got kind of tired of it. Hit a zone call, and I ran into a situation as what's in the contract versus what they've been doing. And I have a problem with that because speaking to people that we voted in the office, I feel like you should be, if you know they're doing something wrong, then by all means, you should
Well,
be enforcing it to be done right.
let me ask you a question, Aisha. When you had
Hmm.
that contact with certain individuals, when you had that contact with them,
Hmm.
Kenny Hines specifically, what was his approach to it? What did he have to say about it?
Well, I haven't had a conversation with Kenny Hines as far as that. I haven't got to that step. That's my next step. If I
Okay.
don't get no resolution when we come back to work after this holiday, that's going to be my next. I'm following the steps. I have been
Because
dealing with my community people.
what you're saying is 100% true.
Hmm.
A lot of people have mentioned that there's no consistency on from department to department, from manager to manager. If it's only one
Hmm.
contract, right? So
Yep.
Right.
everyone should be it should be on one even plane. It shouldn't be you shouldn't have to go through all the steps that you're having to go through and the frustration. We have enough to
Hmm.
deal with. So that's like a big thing going around the plant, and it causes a lot of confusion. And it also causes dissension amongst the members because for some reason, a lot of members believe once that happens that they start to blame each other. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that person's getting special treatment and this person is not. It just causes a lot of confusion.
And I try to give my community people the benefit of the doubt. I'm very vocal. Everybody that know me know that. Um, I don't bite my tongue. And if I know I'm right, or if I feel like I'm right, I'm standing 10 toes down. And in this situation, I know I'm right. And I got confirmation that I was right when I had my zone call. And I have somebody with a shop committee telling me, well, they don't do it the way we do it. They've been doing it this way for so many years. And my question was, well, is it contractional? So I have an issue, contractional versus what you've been doing, it
Right.
still don't make it right. And if you know they're not doing something right, I expect you to do your job. I
Mhm.
expect you to do your job because you was voted in an office to do that job. And I expect you to uphold the contract. And I expect you to put 10 toes down, just like I do, 10 toes, 10 hands down to enforce it. Not just for me, but for everybody in that
But
plant.
everybody, correct, correct,
You
correct.
know, I'm so frustrated at this point because I feel like I have nobody trying to even help me. And I don't want it to seem like, oh, I just want my vacation day. But at the end of the day, if I am entitled to have that day, and we are under the percentage, then yes, I want my day. And I
Right.
feel like nobody is doing their job at this point. And I'm not I don't want to bash nobody. I'm not going to bash nobody, but at the same time, do your job. That's all I
And
want. Just enforce the contract. Enforce
what
what's in
you
the
just
contract, what's
said,
in
what
language.
I don't mean to cut you off, H, but what you just said is spot on. If we are not above the allotted personnel that can be off, no one should be turned down. There is a number. If we are under that number, then you should be approved. Their manpower and whatever other issues they say,
Yeah.
it shouldn't even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
You
you
know,
don't
I
have
just,
enough people, if you don't have enough people to work, then
yeah.
that is the issue. That is a management issue. Not you
Yeah.
can't just be denied for a reason
Because
like no
Personal
personal
reason.
reason. You know what I
How,
mean?
what you feel about me personally. And that's
Yeah,
how I
it
feel.
cannot be that.
And I probably wouldn't feel that way if it was okay. Well, it's, you got to deny for this day because we're full. But that was in three instances that was not the case, and I had proof. I had proof all in all three instances. But I'm at a point now, like, okay, I'm having to take it further steps because it's a pattern that has been shown with this person, and now I just feel like I'm at a standstill, and I feel like everybody knows it, but nobody wants to do nothing. So
so
I said, I'm going to follow the protocol. I'm going to take the steps and do the chain of commands. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting this go because I know I'm not wrong.
so let me
And
And
it's, go ahead, go
and
ahead.
say yeah, but
I I implore everyone, if y'all going through a situation similar to this, y'all have to press and keep y'all feet on the gas, just as Aisha is doing, because that's the only way change is going to happen. If you don't say nothing and you just be quiet and just allow things to happen that you know is not correct, then it'll be the same old thing. It'll be repetitive. You have to keep your feet on the gas. You have to keep going. You have to keep using your voice. You have to keep using whatever resources you have to get things on an even playing field. That's the key. Everybody's supposed to be treated equal.
Speak up.
Yeah, you got to speak up, and that's a big reason we're doing this podcast because we want to give people a voice. Some people might not have the. Aisha's a very outspoken
Hopeful.
person. She
Yeah.
gonna go get it. A lot of people aren't like you, so therefore, this will give people a chance to speak up and give them a a voice, give them a reason to, you know what I'm saying, to feel a little more confident and saying something, knowing that they're not by themselves, knowing that they're not alone in this situation. So I'm glad that you're speaking up on the subject because it's very important.
Almost like that see something, say something situation.
Absolutely.
But let me just play devil's advocate real quick. This
Mhm.
business manager, is it, we just transitioned. So is it the transition from one to another? Or when it transition, is it still a problem?
I haven't put in no more days
Mhm,
since this third incident.
mhm,
So I don't think the business manager we have currently would be unfair. I mean, from my perspective,
mhm.
I have dealt with him before in prior incidents, and he never been unfair to me. So I don't think moving forward I would have that issue. I think it would be fair across the board, but this is just I'm at a standstill with this issue because I'm like, I need my union to do something.
Right,
You
right,
know, you know it's the issue. I need you to do something.
right. And
So,
then it's
you got
another
a question. Somebody
issue.
said, where can you find the local contracts?
I
I
want
don't think it's out yet, but I don't know if they have a PDF on file yet, like they did with the international contracts. You looking up using looking it up,
on
Sequita?
our yeah, on our app.
Just a
You
minute, Mr. Rick. What is that? Oliveras, I think. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
on our UAW Local 276 app, it hasn't been updated. It's still showing the 2019 contracts. Let me see. I'm looking up the resources too. No. Um. Yeah, I'm not able to put. 76. It's just showing on
I
our
don't.
region 8 the results of the agreement, but
We have to get this. We have to get this stuff and have it on hand.
I'm not sure, and I could be wrong. I'm not sure if it's been printed out, typed up. I normally check our local 276 app once every 2 weeks.
Website.
And I hadn't
Uh,
seen that.
Somebody get that name down, and we'll make sure we get that information.
What was his name?
What was
It's
his?
Chris.
I got it.
No, Rick Oliveras. I
I
think
got it.
that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry, y'all.
You
I'm
good?
trying to do
That
a
information.
thousand things at once.
I got his name.
We'll have that to you in the next.
Available.
Yeah, in the next 24 hours. We'll make sure we get that information to you. Thanks for reaching out. But
Yeah.
moving forward, yeah, it's a lot that goes on that we have to start holding everyone in charge, leadership. Uh, we have to start holding their feet to the fire on a lot of things. Um, we have to break down the communication amongst everyone. Like it's too many people that think they know, try to know, and don't know. We have to level it to more people of really being knowledgeable of the contract and really understanding it. Even myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning every day. I learn, um, but that's the thing I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I want to know not just for me, but for others. So when people ask questions, uh, please keep the questions coming. Like we're learning as we go. We're learning. It might be some things that others want to talk about that we haven't talked about amongst each other. So just keep it going.
Did we
Sequita,
lose
you
Asia?
Sequita, you had a, a topic you want to discuss about all good in the union hood. Uh,
Yes. So,
elaborate on
and
that.
I'm
welcome
sorry
back,
about that,
hon.
y'all. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's our. We get it. We talking about what's good in the union hood.
Okay,
So, what's good in the union hood? That would be a chance for us to shout out during this podcast. If you all have any personal accomplishments, any professional achievements, or even proud parent moments, it's graduation season, whether it's elementary, middle, high school, college, um, even for ourselves or our children. But it's an email I need you all to write down: 276 speak up dot podcast at gmail.com. Submit a brief description and or photo, um, and make sure you have that person's permission if you're doing it on behalf of another union sister or brother. But submit that information by the 1st and the 15th of each month. We're going live twice a month. It may be at the first time or the second time, but it's 276 speak up dot podcast at gmail.com. What's good in the union hood?
That's
sounds
that's
good to me. Especially
that,
when
Also,
that's
everybody got it. Go ahead.
that's
I submitted an email. I sent Lindsay an email to see if we have our local agreement available during PD on a PDF file, and I'll be checking throughout while we're live to see, and then I'll update you guys.
that's good. I just wanted to give a condolences to all those who have lost someone over the last few weeks and months. I know it's hard. Um, if you're dealing with it, you don't have to deal with it alone. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
you can just reach out to somebody, sometimes all we need is someone just to talk to. You know what I'm saying? It's not about giving you no advice or giving you, you know what I mean, or trying to change anything. It's about just talking it out, speaking it out. Because a lot of time when
Yeah,
you walk around with that type of hurt and that type of pain, we have all gone through it. It is not easy. It can lead to depression. So we have enough that we deal with in that plant. You know what I mean? So a union is about being a family, about being together.
yeah.
If anyone, I'm easy to reach. You know what I'm saying? You can just DM me and we can talk. We can have a conversation. Um, I'm pretty soon. I'm gonna have another grief meeting.
where we can just come together and just talk and just vibe, try to make each other smile, what I'm saying, and look forward to, just another day, because each day is a better day. That's my own personal little motto. Each day is a better day. You have to, I'm saying, you have to figure out how to deal and overcome the the moments of sadness, because you don't always be sad. You some days you can be just as happy as can be, and then you can hear a song, you can see a TV show. I mean, it can be a a color. Like sometimes I see my mom's favorite color, and it changes. It can change your mood. So we want to implore people to reach out, especially to me. You can call me anytime, especially if you want to just talk. I'm saying you want to just meet, have a drink. Relax. And so that's we want to get the union back to being a family. In all aspects. Go ahead, Sweeter.
And I'm happy you brought that up about grieving our brothers and sisters. I recently went to a funeral this past weekend of our union brother. If my memory serves me correct, he'd been there 12 years. This is the second funeral for a union member that I have been to. Since then, I have been asking people on the floor if they have, how I'm a PK, okay? I know Chris is too. I'm sure you guys have attended funerals, but at a funeral, you know how they have the church remarks.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know how they have that, and then they'll have their employer remarks, right?
Hmm.
Follow me. So at the two funerals that I have attended, I have not seen a union rep at the funeral. I'm not talking about at the wake. Give remarks or resolutions to the family. When I asked around, a lot of people said no. They hardly see people there. From the union, or they've never seen UA rep get up and speak. I don't know if it's something that's already in place. I know that we have chaplains. We have a lot of people, a lot of chaplains that are on different shifts. And
Yeah.
I feel that something should be in place, whether a sister or brother gave a month, 6 months, 20 years, 40
Right.
years at a service within a certain, reason, mileage, as far as, I'm not talking out of state, or maybe it could be possible, but especially when
Yeah.
that service is within the city limits. um, I feel that we should be there, letting that family know that we are there. We're praying for them. We're with them. And it don't even have to be a long, drawn out resolution. Just let them know that we're standing with them, whether we knew the brother or sister or not. I couldn't tell you guys how I felt um, at that service when I didn't see nobody. And I get it. I've heard people say, "Well, I don't do funerals." Nobody wants to do a funeral. Who wakes up in the morning? Oh, I'm gonna go to this funeral. But some things has to be done, because remember, if it's us, will we want somebody to come and speak to our family, console them? Especially when I done gave 6 days a week, 8 to 9 to 12 to 16 hours, and you can't console my family. Let them know you're thinking of them. And it don't take much for a resolution to be typed up. Hell, I do it if I need to. But
Hmm.
I'm saying I feel something should be done.
Absolutely should. I think
Somebody said, Irvin, he said, usually one of the chaplains are supposed to attend.
I
Well,
see
they
one.
must ain't get the memo.
Now I did see one that was there. Um, I did see one that was there, and yeah, I seen one that was there.
Something else I think by us having 5,000 members, and I mean, and it don't have to be something extravagant, huge, or nothing. I just feel like maybe we need to find it needs to be some kind of line of communication from the plant to the hall to the recording secretary and the finance secretary to where they can send a flower. Maybe we need to put something. I don't know if we need a bylaw for it or a motion for it or what. I'm willing to look into that and figure it out. But I just because when my mother passed away, I was at the Winsfield plant, and I don't know on what behalf, who did it, but it was a flower with a card there from that local to my family. Of course, the funeral was in Michigan. I was living in St. Louis, but they got a flower there. They did the footwork, and I feel like it's not asking much as compared to how much we give. You know, we with these people, we at work 6 days a week. We spend a lot of time in that plant, overtime, regular time, donating time, just doing different things. So I just feel like maybe we need to put something, come up with something to give to the membership to vote on. Because I feel like $100 for a flower or something and a card, if just in case somebody can't come in, you know, a chaplain or whoever can't come. Is that the
Yeah,
I think that's our caller. I'm making sure it's not mine.
really should
no?
because,
Is
like
somebody
you,
calling me in? I hear it.
we have like you said, we have close to 5,000
No,
members.
it's not a caller yet.
Oh,
We have
then that's somebody's phone ringing.
I know.
Is,
I'm on my
is it? It ain't mine.
not ringing unless one of my
Is
kids.
it?
Yeah, you
uh,
know.
I kept
I'm on
hearing it, but I don't know. But yeah,
we
you
have
know, because I had made the motion a couple years ago to the membership about just having a moment of silence when we lose somebody, you know, and I know we can't do it every time somebody passed, but once a month, and then Kenny Hines done started it, and then it went away. You know, I
okay,
just think that.
go ahead,
Go ahead.
we can dedicate the first Monday of every month for 1 minute. We can to all the people who have passed away. Like I
Well,
don't
they
think
did.
that's
They was doing something. I had made a suggestion some years ago, and Kenny Hines them implemented something that he put his name on, and they were doing it, and then they wasn't doing it. So I don't know.
that's part of the problem, right? We are the consistency is not there. Everything has to be more consistent. When things are consistent, I mean, people don't get confused. But when you go, we have too much. We have a lot of interchanging people. New
Yeah,
people are coming all the time. Transfers, new temps, people quitting, people getting rehired. So there's always some type of changeover. If you don't have
yeah,
consistency, if you, it just makes everything confusing. When things are consistent, then everyone gets to be on the same level. We understand everything, how everything is working. There's not no
yeah,
confusion. And the plant runs much better. The people run because the people run the plant, not the machines, not the parts. The people. You cannot.
yeah,
Uh, We have to get better. We have to get better, and we have to be more comfortable, and we have to start speaking up and letting our leadership know that hey, these are some of the things that concern us that y'all need to take to management and try to get some type of
Our leadership
resolution.
know that hey, these are some of the things
Oh, hold on,
that
y'all.
concern
What
us
did I do?
that y'all
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry
Like
about
we
that.
like we can't keep going and having all this frustration. We have to start
Yeah,
uh speaking to our leadership. Me included when I say this, we have to start attending more union meetings. I know I'm bad about that, but I'm gonna change that. You know what I'm saying? I promise. I just don't like all the arguing. I just don't like all
yeah,
the
Yeah.
there's not no nonsense at a union meeting. If we can just learn
yeah,
to just be there, be more structured, talk about what we need to talk about, not repeat the same question 36 times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Different.
saying?
Yeah.
Everything will hit different. We don't have to be in there for 3 hours because
Yeah.
2 hours and 15 minutes of it be worth it. And then
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
people be like, "I gotta work tonight. I ain't going back." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are some of the
Mm-hmm.
things that will help uh improve the members going, improve the numbers, improve
Yeah.
what we get. Like we have to. Them, I've been at this local for almost 13 years, and I've been this is my fourth plant, so this is my fourth local. I've never seen so much arguing. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
We have to improve on that. Once we can improve on that, and I implore the leadership to help with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we have
Yeah.
to get more structured and hey, if you been unruly, ask that person to leave because we got to move on. Like you got to pay
Mm-hmm.
attention too. Don't if a question is asked at 2 o'clock and it's 30 minutes of that, and then at minute 45 somebody asks the same question, well that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And members feel that. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, they have some new rules implemented. You only
is it
get a set amount of time to talk. You can only ask the same. You can only bring up the same topic twice. You know, no standing in the back of the room, no yelling and interrupting people while they're talking at the mic. So I mean, it's. I think it's going to bring about change and more order to the union meetings. And with any change, it takes time. So
Right.
you're gonna still get the little bit of people that want to push the envelope and see how far they can go. But this last union meeting, they implemented them changes. So moving forward, I hope to see more people and the rules reinforced to get more people to come out because that's the consensus is a lot of people don't want to come. One or two reasons: it's
Started.
their only day off, or when they come, it's always some arguing, and you can't never get to the gist of what the meeting is about. You leave there just as confused as when you came. So hopefully, this will cut down on a lot of that and get more people to come out.
And I think it'd be a lot of finger pointing. We
I get
tend to forget.
Hold on, Quita. Hold on. Yeah, Urban, is that your name? It's so small. Yes,
urban
it is. It's still we are still under administratorship until further notice, until they see change implemented. And so we'll see. There's no like 3 months, 6 months. We have no date as of right now. It's till basically till we do better.
right. Until they see that we're doing better, it's gonna be in place. That's what I would say.
Yep. And we got a lot of changes to make. A lot of changes. So
And it start
um,
with us individually. We can't continue pointing the finger.
yes,
I don't care if you don't like me, Asia, or I don't like you. At the end of the day, if we're here for our union and we
and we got the same goal.
the
Yep.
union, take the personal things out of it and stick to the business wise. Because when you turn me down or I turn you down, at the end of the day, we're
Yep.
turning down the union because we're not working together. And I'm
Yep.
happy y'all mentioned this because I've asked around. I ask around on when I'm going to the restrooms and I see people, whatever the case may be, why they don't get involved. Um, the thing about it, the committees, it's the same people on the committees, right? It's the same
Hmm.
people that have been a committee person, woman or man or whatever the case may be. But we have to look and see why it's not growing. Why
Yeah.
it's not growing. If we turn down the next person, I don't want to be involved in a committee that tears down instead of building up. That's
Yeah.
constantly talking about certain people. That's what I'm not here for that. I'm here to get the business done. How can we work together? Let's take out personal feelings and get to business.
Let's stop
Hmm.
all
with
the stuff.
us.
Get the messy stuff out of it. Let's get to
Yeah,
being what these committees are really supposed to be about. Like it be too much messy stuff, too much he said, she said. It's not really. It's not even that damn serious, honestly. Like we shouldn't even have to go through all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Committee. It's the base word in committee is about being committed, right? Be
yeah,
committed to what
Yep.
you do to that to the to the group that you want to be a part of. Uh, and these groups that been, you know, what I mean, a lot of these people been in these committees for a long time. So make people feel welcome when they want to join. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Welcome because I've heard some things now. I ain't gonna call nobody out on this particular episode, but if it don't change, I'm gonna call you out now. You know what I'm saying? Be more, make people feel more welcome when they join these committees and like they're a part of it. Don't separate them because that just makes them well, damn. They really don't want me to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? They want
don't
to just keep like,
intimidate it.
and that's
Speaking
not that's
on speaking on committees, I'm piggyback off of you.
Yeah.
I seen earlier a girl, I think her name was
Van,
Shavanity. I want to
yeah,
say she was supposed to have did I guess she's a comedian in the plant. I'm gonna have to check her out one day, try and catch one of her shows. But I guess she was supposed to perform doing a comedy show for I think the
veteran
retirees
is the veteran.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, veterans. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
it was canceled due to a number of reasons. But I had seen her post, and I feel bad for her because, like she said, that's her brand and her name, and I'm sure she promoted it and had people, that wanted to come out. And the veterans is a committee, and I'm not sure the conversation because I wasn't there of how it went, but I just commented and I just kind of, was trying to tell her like, for one, I see two issues: the flyer, anything done with the union where union funds have to go through the union hall. It has to be printed and vetted by the union hall. You cannot just make a flyer and throw the union on there and say it's for the union. Now, I think chair and co-chairs of these committees, when putting things together, need to make sure people that they are involving that they give them all of the information needed. And I think if you're a chair or co-chair, you should know what is and what can be done and what can't be done as far as union using union funds. Because if you don't know, then maybe you shouldn't be the chair or co-chair of whatever said committee. And I'm not just speaking on one, I'm just speaking in general, but I'm using this situation as an information piece to let people know moving forward. You got to make sure your I's is dotted and your T's is crossed. Because for one, we can't have liquor. I saying big first words BYOB. And then when you're using union funds, you can't say open to the public. Like you can invite people, but it's for the union. So those are those I said two, but three. Those are three things that I seen as red flags as to why it could have got shut down. I don't know what the other reasons is. I hope they can put something else back together soon, and hopefully she'll be a part of it. I know she said she wasn't doing enough with the union. I hope she changed her mind because I would love to come out and, check her out or whatever and see how funny she is. But I just think um being on these committees, you have to do your due diligence, and you have to, if you don't know, ask before you just pull the trigger on something because you get people involved and then stuff like this happens. And I don't want to discourage, like, she discouraged from being a part of anything. And I don't want people to get discouraged from being a part of the union and committees because of one mishap, you know. And there's not one specific person to blame, you know. But I always say, if you want to know the gist of it, call international. Should everybody else do?
And responded to her basically, clarifying some of the same things that you had mentioned. I was reading it, just scanning over it and stuff. So
Yeah,
I understand her frustration, but
of course. Yeah.
Protocol.
I'm sure she got her, she told her people
Mm,
and, her supporters, and she's probably looking forward to that, and it's unfortunate that it had to be canceled, but this is why I say people got to do their due diligence. If you a chair, co-chair of any said committees, dot
And
your
I hope
I's and cross your T's. Know what you're doing, know what you can do and what you can't do. Know the rules, procedures. Because when it comes to union funds and stuff, there's protocols. And if you ain't following them protocols, they will shut your shit down, especially with us being under administratorship right now. They are scrutinizing everything we do, every dollar we spend. You have to be squeaky clean. If not, 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna happen, And at the end of the day, I don't want the blame to go on one person because it's not one person's responsibility, you know.
right.
It's just an unfortunate situation that this had to be an example, hopefully, that all these other committees learn from moving forward.
I hope somebody talk to her once she calms down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 'cause I know she's upset right now, so I hope she if someone talks to her because I heard she's kind of funny. You know, I would love to see her one day. But I know the frustration when you got your heart set on something. She probably been rehearsing. She probably didn't ask her people to come out. So it's a lot that goes into being a performer. You know what I'm saying? When you're a performer or when you hosting something, I'm saying I know how it can get when things get canceled on you or when changes happen. So to her, I mean, if she's listening or not listening, or somebody can get the word to her. Don't shut us all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Because I know she has said that she'll never do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't do us like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do because it's not everybody. And I hope that you reconsider. You know what I'm saying? I hope that you reconsider because like I said, we try to become a better people, a better union, more family oriented. You know what I'm saying? And don't let the devil stop you from doing something that you blessed with. That's a talent you blessed with. You know what I'm saying? So I look forward to hearing you, and I look forward to seeing you perform. And we just got to make sure we getting all the information, or make sure we're giving the correct information. Maybe she wasn't giving the correct information. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the particulars, but I just don't want her to shut down and shut us out like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I would like to see her talent, and I'm sure that the union can use that. We need a laugh. You know what I'm saying? We need a laugh.
Yes.
That's something that we need to look into and trying to get her. So once she calms down, I might reach out to her myself. I'm not tender, so if she curse me out when I reach out, it's all good. I'm not gonna be mad.
Yeah.
I mean, I get cursed out all the time, so it ain't no big deal. So it ain't no big.
Yeah.
I am gonna reach out to her though, man. I for y'all to do the same because shit, if this union and don't need nothing else, we need a laugh.
We
You know what I'm,
do.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Yep. So hopefully they can figure that out and maybe put something else together for the Veterans Committee. Hopefully. Um but with this administratorship they looking at everything with a fine tooth comb. And if one little thing ain't in place, it probably ain't gonna happen. Oh, and also I want to say congratulations to all the parents who got graduates that are graduating from elementary school, middle school, high school, college. Um, Kudos to you guys and your babies because without y'all, they couldn't have made it.
Yeah,
So
All right.
I just want to give up.
Lord, thank
What's
you.
one? What you say, Quita?
Tell the
Yeah.
Lord
Oh, that's right. You got one graduating.
that youngest, hell on wheels. He'll make me forget I walk with the Lord daily, okay?
Enough.
As my grandma used to tell us, let me put my she used to say, I'm gonna put my what did she used to say? I can't think of the word she used to use, but she'd be like, I'm gonna put it on the shelf and pick it back up after I get through cussing y'all out.
Probably because that youngest, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made it. So kudos to you and kudos to him. I'm gonna have to step away,
Yes.
y'all. I stepped outside. I'm actually at a graduation dinner in Louisiana right now.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to make
okay.
sure I took because I ain't want to miss the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all again, ladies. I look forward to working with us continuously. And yeah, y'all start calling in more, reaching out, inboxing, and doing what y'all gotta do. But if I don't get into this dinner, they gonna kill me. So
All right. Congratulations on the graduate. Safe travels heading
Right.
back.
Congrats. Congrats.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Asia gonna hold it down. Yes.
Right.
So do we have
Right.
any callers?
I don't
Anybody want
think
to
we got no callers or no more questions. Hopefully, as we move on, this is only our second episode. So hopefully, as we pick up traction, we get more people to get more involved, or as they start to see it, maybe we're gonna have to start promoting it maybe a couple days earlier, just kind of like getting the word out there. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I think this was for the second episode. I think we did good.
yeah.
We touched on a few different subjects that we can still pick back up on. If people see it, after it's over and they want to, call in and discuss something we already talked about, they free to do that. But besides that, I think this was a good episode.
What was the guy named Richard? Let me go back to it.
Rick
Oliveira.
Oliveras, yes.
You can send your email
There we
to.
go. There we go.
Okay. If you can
What
send
caused
your.
us to be up? Hold on for 1 second. What caused us to be in administration? Well, basically, to sum it up, the bylaws. We had how many bylaws was it that wasn't up to date?
At 14.
No, it was 14 that they redid, but it wasn't that many that were outdated. But they end up once they went through the bylaws, they seen where we needed improvement on 14 total.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what they had an audit. The president had an audit done of the bylaws because it was so many bylaws that were very old, outdated, didn't fit with what we were doing, was too open ended. Um and it needed tweaking. So he had international do an audit, and international said, okay, we found I want to say it was 7 bylaws that don't quote me on it, but it was between 5 to 7 bylaws that were outdated, needs to be revamped, needed more precise wording about duties being performed. So that was not a suggestion. It was a request to be done in a timely manner. Every time they had a special meeting to vote for these bylaws, the membership voted it down. Um, and I'm gonna say this, and I might get crucified for it, but when you have the same people that show up to vote, and you got over 5,000 members, and you only got not even 100 people to come out and vote, and they already got in their mind how they gonna vote, majority. I would say out of the room, less than 100 people, I would say maybe 7, minus the few that was on the e-board that voted for the bylaws. Majority of the people that was there voted them down, was belligerent, disrespectful. And these are people that are in high positions. These are people we voted in positions that were acting a plum ass. And I'm gonna say it, acting a plum freaking ass about these bylaws. And this is my opinion. Nobody else's. I feel like they wanted the bylaws to stay the same because it allowed them to get away with a lot of shit. And that's why we are in a financial issue we are in right now. And this is just my opinion. This is not no facts. This ain't coming from nobody else. This is coming from Asia. What I observed, what I seen, and what I believe and what I think. And I'm gonna stand on it. But moving forward, the bylaws kept getting voted down. So International sent a letter and said y'all have to this date and this time to get the bylaws voted in, or it's going to be consequences. People played with it, thought it was a joke, thought that they was gonna do it the Texas way. And that last vote, it was voted down. They didn't even let the bylaws get. They didn't even let Marvin read the bylaws. They said they didn't need them read to them. They knew what they said. They could read. They didn't want them voted on one by one. They wanted them all. They already knew what they was going to do. They voted them down, and that next day, our region director called and said, "We're taking the union." They had our president. He fought to keep the union. He had a meeting. Went to Michigan. Him and all the board members and our uh, chairman. They all went. Uh, I'm not gonna say which three was for the union being taken, but it was three. Um, that was for the union being taken from us, and the rest was for the union staying under, us running our own union. And at the end of the day, they voted to take it still. So this is where we're at. It all came down to the bylaws not being passed. Something simple as passing the bylaws. And it wasn't nothing that was horrible in the bylaws. The bylaws just need to be retweaked and updated to meet the needs of our union moving forward. And people didn't want that because it was going to stop a lot of certain things. So that's why we're where we're at now. So all we can do is we can't look back. All we can do is move forward, from this point and learn from the past, what not to do, hopefully, and try to, come together and do better, you know. So that's why our union was taken. To sum it up, I know that was a lot, but you know, and this is why I say people need to come to union meetings. I get it's a lot of BS, but um, yeah, this is why I say people need to come to union meetings. So what happens if nothing gets better? We won't get our union back. We won't get it back. That's why there's no date as to how long they're gonna keep it. Until shit get better. So they feel like we are better. And at the last meeting, um, they said our spending is absurd, and ridiculous. So we got to get a handle. It's a lot of things that 276 got to get better with, and it's long overdue. It's since I transferred here in 2014, and I've been here. Well, the way we do it this way here, we do it this way here, And I rolled with it at first, and then I started just sitting back and observing shit, and I didn't
Yeah.
like how a lot of things was being done because it wasn't right. So I'm for anything that's right. If it's right and it's for the membership, I'm with it. If it's for you and you and you, no,
Problem.
no, that's what we gonna differ at. No, if it's for me, you, and the 4,900 other employees, I'm with it. I roll with it. But if it's for a few chosen and it's the same few chosen, nah, I don't roll with it. Mm-mm. And I'm gonna speak on it. That's why I couldn't wait to join this podcast. Not to bash nobody, but to just hopefully let this be another open communicate line of communication for people. So
Ur-
but if
Urban
anything get
Sonic
better,
Grid.
regional has the authority to remove everyone from office and appoint fresh people in place. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very true. And they said they will remove people as needed. So far, they haven't removed nobody. Everybody's still in their positions, but hey, this is the beginning. Anybody can be removed. That is so true. So very true. So maybe it make people shape up and fly right. Who knows? But I wasn't for the administratorship, but I think with the administratorship, um, I'm seeing slowly but surely. things being implemented, things being done the right way, uh, and hopefully moving forward, it stays that way. You know, some things I don't agree with, but I'm gonna roll with it because it's in black and white. You know, like I can give an example. We had a women's committee meeting, and we found out that uh, you can only have 12 members. The rest, anything after that is volunteers, and it's a voting process now. I don't agree with it for my own reasons because I feel like some people might join just to thinking they're gonna take a trip or get a 109, and that's not what I'm on any committee for. I'm on it because I want to be on it. But I might not agree with it, but if it's law, I'm gonna roll with it because it's what's in black and white. So it's the rules, you know. So you have
Yeah.
anything you want to add, Quita?
Just say a prayer in closing for our union brother or sister. 2 nights ago, the ambulance was there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give names or anything, but one
Out of
of our
respect.
sister was taken via ambulance. So just pray for a speedy
Yeah,
recovery on that.
you know. Yeah, I pray for healing for over all of us in there because you never know. You know, we can walk in there. A lot of times we walk in there feeling fine and be in there 5 to 10 minutes, and then something happen. You know, I think I have this. I think I got this mind thing. I pull up, I'm fine. I walk in that building.
Encourage.
I promise you, I get a headache. My back start hurting. My feet start hurting. Everything on me start hurting within a matter of minutes, and I'd be like, "What the hell?" As
Right.
soon as
I
I
was
walk out, I leave
every
right there. I'm
day.
fine. I'm fine. So yeah, we all need prayers, but I'll be praying for
Yes.
the person who.
And a lot of us are dealing with a lot of things on top of work stress. I
Hmm.
recall saying something, um, be kind to everyone you pass by because some
Yeah,
people are dealing with battles unknown that you don't know. We may come across someone that's suicidal, been giving their best every single day. And it may be your
yeah,
good morning or have a good shift that
yeah,
change the dynamic of it. So be kind to each other and take care of ourselves. We coming into the hotter months, uh,
yeah,
especially second shift. First shift, it may get a little hot on their way out, but second shift,
yeah.
you really feel it in the heat of the day. And then on our shift,
Hmm.
third shift, it's kind of cooling down by then. But take care of yourself. It's up to us to
Yeah,
take care of ourselves. They just want them trucks completed.
yeah, yeah,
If you need a break, that's what your team leader is there for. If you need to go get some ice, some water, that's what your team lead is there for. If you need to go
hmm,
5 times to fill up, because it's gonna get hot in there, that's what your team leads is there for.
yeah. I remember a temp. She's not a temp no more, but she was a temp some years ago, and we was talking, and she was working across from me on the line, and I don't know how I came about drinking. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it was. And I said to her, I was like, I don't never see you drinking nothing. She said, well, I try not to drink nothing at work because I don't want to have to ask to go to the bathroom. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, what? I looked at her, I said, what? And she was like, I don't want nobody to get mad. I said, girl, look. I said, if we got a team leader to get you off the line and go to the bathroom, I said, no, you cannot go 8 or 9 hours and not have nothing to drink. I said, no, you need to drink something. I
If
said,
we
I never
don't
see
have
you drink
a
nothing.
team,
Yeah, that tripped me out. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I hated hearing that. I was like, no, you need to drink something. So,
I'm on the podcast. See, this that 18-year-old
Look,
graduation.
look.
I say,
You see, I had to shoot mine up out of here a minute ago. I had to mute myself and everything.
baby, yes.
Next episode, I'm gonna go get in my car.
Listen, I'm trying to come in my office and he come in here. No, no, this is work. Goodbye. I'm sorry, y'all. But
You
yeah,
fine?
but here's the thing. Even seniority people do that too. And we have to be the
Yeah,
voice. You know what I'm saying? Because some people
yeah.
I hear people that I started with. Well, I'm not trying to do this. Or baby, you better hydrate yourself or you're gonna be laid out on
Mm-hmm.
that floor. And guess what? They're gonna move you over and keep that
And
line
put somebody else in. Yes. Yep.
and keep that
Yep.
line going. So
Yeah. So people stay hydrated. We finna get into our hot months, and you know, that was, I'm drinking. I'm gonna drink my water, my power. I don't care what you say. I ain't finna be in there like for nobody. Look,
uh-uh.
if I got to, no.
And I don't care
So
if you done already went into the ladies' room. It doesn't matter. I need to step
yeah,
outside again. Because let's be
yeah,
honest, what are y'all doing?
yeah.
Sleeping or watching TV.
That part. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes, if I gotta go 5, 10 times because I'm hydrating myself, then so be it. Uh,
And I'm a little bit of an older lady now. So look, my bladder don't work the same as it used to. I used to can hold myself for about 30, 40 minutes. Now I'm giving you 10 and then I'm out.
pull that and done, okay? Yes.
Are we gonna be calling maintenance over here? Clean still on aisle 34 left.
I gotta get it early out because I gotta go home to clean myself.
And I ain't coming back.
No, ma'am. Yes, I get
So
it.
yeah,
Care of y'all,
yeah.
please.
Well, I
Let's get
think this was a good episode. We touched on a lot of things. Hopefully, as we go on, like I said a minute ago, we pick up some traction and get more people in here. Um, so I think we can wrap it up uh until our next episode. I'll let Tequita take the closing.
All right, you guys. Until next time, be blessed. Make sure you submit the information. What's good in the union hood? Any bragging rights, and just whatever it is. Maybe you closed on the house. Maybe you got your own your a new car. Whatever it is, submit that
A
information.
business.
Yes, business. Advertising, whatever the case may be. 276 speak up dot podcast at gmail.com. 276 speak up
And we out.
podcast at gmail.com. Until next time, be blessed and be safe. Stay hydrated.
We out.